I'm Sanu Dieng with Transitions Family Violence Services Executive Director.
And good morning. I'm Shawnalea Ross with the Newport News Police Department. I'm a sergeant supervising the Special Victims Unit. Well, I'm glad that we finally get a chance to sit down and talk about domestic violence. It's such an important topic to us here in the police department. And more importantly, we're beginning a new push to really revisit the subject and look at the whole culture of domestic violence in our community. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about the culture of silence and wanted to hear some insight from you on your perspectives from Transitions.
Absolutely. So unfortunately, domestic violence is still that taboo subject where we don't talk about what's happening in our homes. We don't talk about our relationships openly as far as being hurt. So it's important that we, one, just break the stigma around silence when we're being hurt. We're still living in a culture where what happens in the home stays in the home. We don't talk about the person that claims to love us and how we're being hurt. So I think it's important that our collaboration with the police department and with community is one to just give voice to what's happening in our relationships. Talking about the things that we're uncertain about that don't make us feel good, the things that make us fearful. We tell survivors that one of the indications of being in an unhealthy relationship is not being able to express to them how you're feeling in your relationship. So being able to do that with family and friends also starts to break that cultural norm of just not talking about it. So that's the first piece around domestic violence. I think also around our culture, we live in a society where violence is a means to an end, right? So when I get upset, I've got to yell, I've got to scream. I may be physically violent towards someone. So I think that we also need to talk about when we're being hurt or when we're upset, how we manage our emotions, and making it unacceptable for people to mistreat other people and to intervene when we see it happening, because it's all of our business. Unfortunately, we think it's just one person's issue, but it's all of our issue.
Well, we could not agree with you more, and you really brought up some excellent talking points. That culture of silence is something that we see so often where our next door neighbors are turning their head away from what they hear or what they see. And it's really tapping into what is a normal human behavior. When we see conflict, it's easy to look away. When we see things that might be unpleasant, it's easy to close our ears and close our eyes to what might be reality for someone else. So what we would like to challenge our community with is when you see something, don't be afraid to say something. That it is our business. When violence is being committed, it's okay to intervene. Absolutely. And that doesn't mean stepping in personally to intervene. It could be as simple as placing a phone call.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate so much your perspective. Could you tell us a little bit more about your work with Transitions?
Sure. So Transitions, we are your local domestic violence agency. We're here to believe you. We're here to support you and empower you. If you're uncertain if your relationship is unhealthy or abusive, or you have left an abusive relationship and just need to talk with someone about what you've experienced, I know that law enforcement is here to serve and protect and to help in any way that they can. So really our organization and all the services that we offer, to a 24-hour hotline, to advocacy services and services for children, most of all, we just want people to know that we're here and we're working together to support you in making that decision to do what's best with you, which is to leave that relationship.
And that's wonderful. And to the community, we want you to know that we are committed to believing in you, to understanding we are all impacted by domestic violence. And we are committed to disrupting the culture of silence about abuse and domestic violence in the home. We are also committed to being your advocate to end domestic violence in the city of Newport News.
We're waiting for your call.